Picture this. You look out the window of your home and notice that the nearby creek has started to swell thanks to several days of heavy rain. You think to yourself, it's never flooded here before, we should be fine. And look to the weather forecast only to see no end of the rain in sight. Waiting until the water is rising is no time to wonder whether your property is at risk for flooding. There are several great online resources to help determine your flood risk and prepare in the event of a flood. Floodsmart.gov, the official site of the National Flood Insurance Program, and msc.fema.gov, the MAP Service Center of the Federal Emergency Management Agency. The FEMA Flood Insurance Rate Map, or FIRM, for your area may be viewed online at FEMA Map Service Center. These maps show the community's flood zone, floodplain boundaries, and base flood elevation. Simply enter an address to view a map detailing special flood hazard areas. You may also call the Bristol, Tennessee Department of Development Services at 423-989-5515 to speak with someone who can help you determine the flood hazard of your property. Once you know your flood hazard, you may wish to consult with your insurance agent about whether you are covered for flood damage. In fact, many property owners in high-risk flood areas or who have certain types of mortgages are required to have flood insurance. Even if you aren't required to carry flood insurance for your property, flooding can still happen to anyone. You may be surprised to learn that from 2014 to 2018, policyholders outside of high-risk flood areas filed over 40% of all National Flood Insurance Program claims. Remember that even 1 inch of water in a home can cost more than $25,000 in damage, and that most homeowners' policies do not cover flood damage. If you're a renter, your landlord may have a policy that covers the building, but like typical renter's insurance policies, it most likely doesn't cover your possessions inside either. Affordable contents-only flood insurance can help protect the belongings inside your unit in the event of a flood. To learn more about the National Flood Insurance Program, including how to buy flood insurance or find an insurance provider, visit floodsmart.gov or talk with your insurance agent to be sure that your property is properly covered. Because the City of Bristol, Tennessee participates in the FEMA Community Rating System, you may be eligible for a discount on flood insurance premiums. Even with adequate insurance coverage, there are other steps that you can take to protect your property from flood damage. In some cases, it may be possible to flood-proof your property by elevating or retrofitting certain elements to help minimize the risk of flood damage. If building a new structure, be sure to obtain all required permits in order to make sure that any building or grading won't negatively impact drainage patterns on your or a neighbor's property. Also, don't forget other simple steps, like making sure downspouts are directing water well away from the edge of the home, and storing insurance papers and other important documents or valuables in a waterproof container in the highest level of your home in case of a flood event. Even after taking all of the appropriate steps to protect and insure your property against flooding, high water may be inevitable in some situations. When this happens, even more important than protecting your property is protecting yourself. Never try to cross a flooded roadway. More than half of all flood-related drownings occur when a vehicle is driven into hazardous floodwater. As the saying goes, turn around, don't drown. Our lakes, rivers, and streams are a major part of what makes Bristol such a great place to live. We can all do our part by keeping them clean and free of trash and debris, as well as understanding our potential flood risks and how to keep our property and our families safe and dry.